What is going on, guys? Another video. I want to talk about a man who won the Mega Millions lottery for $273 million. And before then, he was unemployed and he had just gotten out of a marriage. His ex was paying him alimony. And now, since he's won this lottery, she is refusing to pay him anything. And I get it. Because when you hear some of the details of this marriage, I think you will understand her position in the situation and why she's refusing. All right. Now, according to this article from, I believe it's called notably.com, it says just because two exes finalized a divorce doesn't mean they are no longer in each other's lives. This was the case when Alimony Murray parted ways with her husband of 15 years, Mike. During the majority of their time together, Alimony, I think I'm saying her name. If I'm saying her name wrong, I know y'all gonna tell me, but I think it's Alimony was the breadwinner of the family, while Mike stayed home. Eventually, I'm just call her Miss Murray. This dynamic led to divorce. Just a few months after their divorce was finalized, Mike won a staggering $273 million in the lottery. Join us as we share the story of a woman who was lost for words when her ex-husband, who she was paying alimony to, ended up winning a multi-million-dollar jackpot. You know, she's been taking L's in this situation. She was with this guy for 15 years. She worked. He didn't. She literally was taking care of this guy. And then they separate. She's paying alimony and he hits the lottery. You talk about somebody taking L's. She's taken a lot of L's in this. Miss Murray has taken a lot of L's in this particular situation, man. She's taking some L's, okay? After spending the last 15 years trying to provide for her unemployed husband, this woman decided it was time to part ways. That they might have divorced, but the lady was still legally obligated to pay alimony for her ex-husband. Then a few months later, the man went to a local convenience store to purchase lottery tickets and ended up walking away with $273 million jackpot. This begs the question, did the ex-husband's winnings bring the two back together, or did it make matters worse? Now, from what I read from another article, she does not want to get back with him. She just wants to not pay alimony anymore, okay? And she seemed genuinely happy for him. But we're going to get into this. This crazy story began nearly 20 years ago when Mike decided to get down on one knee and ask for his girlfriend, Miss Murray, hand in marriage. She unequivocally said yes. And it wouldn't take long before they tied the knot. All right. It seemed like a match made in heaven, and this was undoubtedly the most important moment in their lives. However, it wasn't just how he proposed to her that added a sharp twist to the story. It was where, like many newlyweds, the first few years of marriage seemed to go really well for Mike and Alimony. However, every honeymoon comes to an end, and eventually the time comes when a husband and wife have to put a lot of work into their marriage. Soon enough, cracks started to show in their marriage. Furthermore, it seemed like there was one standout reason why Alimony was starting to have regrets about even shacking up with Mike in the first place. Never had to stay a job. Miss Murray added that part of her issues with Mike was that he was never able to hold down a long-term job. This made it difficult for them to make ends meet. This is what happens, I think, in a lot of situations. We think that this just goes on in the black community. We think that it's a lot of black women out there working hard, taking care of the man that they're with. This goes on in other communities as well. This is why I do these videos. You know, you have women who work. They may work one job, two jobs. They go to school. They got kids, and they're basically taking care of the guy that they're with. And she was taking care of Mike. He had a job here and there, But for the most part, she worked 15 years. The whole time they were together, she was basically the breadwinner of the relationship. All Mike did was go to the store and get a lottery ticket. We had a dog. He took care of the dog. She said, other than that, Mike was rarely in a position to provide for his family, and this was only scratching the surface of just how much of an issue money was for them over the years. She was the breadwinner. Things seemed to get progressively worse for Mike and Miss Murray after a decade of being together, with Mike being unable to secure a steady job to provide for his family. It was up to Alimony to step up to become the breadwinner. She worked full-time for an energy company and has held down her position up until the present day. It was only a matter of time before the financial pressures completely tore this holy matrimony apart. After 15 years of instability and struggling to make ends meet, Ellen and Mike decided that enough was enough, and the couple finalized their divorce in early 2019. It's never been stated exactly why they called it quits on their marriage, but it seems like money had a huge part to play. During the divorce proceedings, Alimony claimed that she had to pay Mike a hefty fee, even though Alimony thought this chapter in her life was over. She's still indebted to Mike until this very day. Well, a lot of men go through this. This is nothing new for men. There's a lot of men out there who aren't celebrities. They don't play sports, who have to pay alimony. Okay? And they have to pay it to a woman who never worked, who never did much of anything, but she's living off the money that he's sending her. And I think that, and then there's another article I was reading about this. I may even do another video on it, where more women are starting to pay alimony and child support. And the number is starting to rise. You know, with more women with that independent woman mindset, they're starting to pay for that. And they're starting to pay for that in having to pay alimony to men who don't work. They're getting into a relationship with men who are comfortable not doing much. You know, so we can't really blame Mike totally for this, because she put up with Mike for 15 years. Alimony had made most of the couple's income during the 15 years together. As a result, the judge ordered her to pay Mike in alimony for the next 5 years. Now that is equality, people. And if Mike is as petty as I may think he is, he might make her pay that 5 years out. You know, we don't know how she was. She could have been very mean to Mike. Probably was on his case every day. You know, she got that look like she was probably on him every day. You know, also known as spousal support, alimony is a standard procedure. Is a standard procedure that usually happens when married couples are divorced. One party is obligated to financially support the other even after divorce or separation. However, Alimony could never foresee what would happen just a few months after she was legally bound to pay alimony to Mike. Just a few months after the couple finalized their divorce, Mike went to his local New Jersey quick check convenience store. He did his usual thing, perusing around the store looking for some snacks. Then he had a sudden urge to buy a couple of lottery tickets for the Mega Millions. After filling in his numbers and paying the store clerk, Mike went on his way and didn't think much of it. Just a few days later, Mike was in for some big news. He won the jackpot. Just a few days later, he had tried his luck with Mega Millions lottery. Something happened that would change his life forever. He became the winner of the multi-million-dollar jackpot. You talk about luck. He still didn't have a job to his name, and Mike had no idea what had happened. Moreover, it was just a couple of months after his untimely divorce. However, there was one thing getting in the way of Mike's moment of triumph. He couldn't find his ticket up. Frantically searching his pockets, Mike soon realized why he couldn't locate his lottery winning ticket. He had left it behind at the New Jersey Quick Check when he purchased it. Hey, what was on your mind? Was it just the snacks, or you was in a rush? I was paying more attention to my cell phone, he says. I put the tickets down, put my money away, and there was something with my phone, and just walked away. However, he was in store for yet another surprise when he rushed over to the convenience store. It turns out that Phil Campolo, the very same clerk who served Mike on that fateful evening, saw that he had left the ticket when he had already left. His tickets were here on the counter, Campolo said. So I put them for safekeeping under the register. Now that you talk about a good Samaritan, he saved that man a lot of money, you know. Mike arrived to collect his ticket and waited for Campolo to hand over the ticket. It was at this moment that he stared at the winning numbers and realized he had won the huge jackpot. It was amazing to think that a man who had struggled to make money for the entire duration of his marriage was now sitting on an absolute ton of money. In one moment, he was unemployed, and the next, he was a happily retired man. Let's see. I want to say this because I don't want to do too much of this. But this you could say it's luck. You can say it's a guy just being at the right place at the right time. But this guy was in a marriage where his wife took care of him. The store clerk looked out for him. This is a good string of luck. You know, a lot of people may not believe in that, but maybe it's good karma. I don't know. Maybe he's just an all-around decent guy and things happen. We don't really know for sure. Okay? Let's see. Let's skip down. All right, let's see. She was shot. Needless to say, Aline was absolutely lost for words when she found out that it was her ex-husband, Mike, who won the $273 million. I had already seen that somebody had purchased a ticket at that store, she said. There's no way that could be him. And sure enough, it was. I was shocked. What made the realization even more haunting for Aline was finding out where her ex-husband had purchased the life-changing lottery ticket. He rewarded the store. Okay. Seeing that the store clerk, Phil Campolo, held onto Mike's jackpot lottery ticket, Mike knew in his heart that he was immediately indebted to the young man. He needed to give Campolo some money for his act of kindness. There's not many people who are honest like that, Mike said, struggling to contain his emotions. I can't ask for a better friend, and I'm sure we're going to be friends. Now Mike could figure out what to do with the rest. While Mike claimed to have been hadn't been looking for work while married to Aline, he is now relieved that he doesn't have to go through those struggles anymore. Let's see, that's him with the new Ford truck. Okay. It seems like Aline and Mike's financial situation has completely changed overnight now that Mike has millions to his name. Aline believes that what she is paying her ex-husband in alimony is like pocket money in comparison. And while it was initially unclear whether or not Aline wanted a piece of Mike's lottery winnings, it seems like we might now have a definitive answer to that question. Also, many have shared their opinions on the matter. Let's see. When asked about the prospect of Mike and Aline ever getting back together, the Mega Millions winner gave a resounding no, claiming that ship has sailed long before he won the lottery. Yeah, I don't think they get back together. An interview with Inside Edition, Mrs. Murray made it crystal clear she had no interest in having any of Mike's money. I don't want anybody to misconstrue anything that I'm coming after him because I've heard this from numerous places, she said. I'm taking him back to court. I want a part of his lottery winnings. I don't. That wasn't enough, though, as far as Aline was concerned. She wanted to set the record straight about one more thing. It's not just about the money that Aline wants no part to play in. The way she looks at it, no money in the world could bring her back to Mike. Now that you have money, it doesn't mean that I'd want to come back, she said. Aline simply isn't interested in ever getting back together with Mike or having a single dime of his lottery winnings. All she wants now is to stop paying him alimony when he obviously doesn't need her pocket change. What may be pocket change to you? But Mike might beg to differ because Mike could always go back to court and, himself. But I don't know if he's done that. The only thing that I would like to see is obviously termination of alimony, she said. And while this seems like a reasonable request, there is one more thing Aline wants from Mike now that he has financial resources. Right, to use his money. The only thing left for her is that she hopes Mike will, take care of his family for the most part. And this is the family here. Which is, I can honestly say that, she genuinely, I don't think she's bitter about it. I think she sees what's going on and she understands that this is good for him and her. But like I said, I don't know if Mike has gone to court and made any changes. Mike might be a very petty guy. Mike might be saving his money. We don't know, but I just find it interesting, that the roles are starting to reverse and you're starting to see more women in these situations where they have to pay out of pocket to the men they're in relationships with. So